everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a good day. You join me today for a bit of a makeup update. Now, you might be wondering why you're getting a bonus Wednesday video, and that is really just because I have got a few videos I want to wrap up before the end of the year. Things like talking about my no-buy, New Year's resolutions, makeup was one of them, and a couple of other bits and pieces, and there was just not enough time in Sunday uploads alone. So you may get a few bonus ones coming your way in the midweek as well. As you may know, at the start of the year I did a video of why I'm not decluttering my makeup, which was really strange because back when I uploaded that video, the majority of my videos were decluttering videos, and that was generally how I got my journey started. But I did mention that because of my no-buy and because of the fact that I was restricting what makeup I would be able to purchase throughout my no-buy, I wasn't going to declutter any of my makeup. And therefore I was basically left for a whole year to use up the products I already had, to not buy any new ones, and just see where we ended up. I was really adamant that I wasn't going to let go of any makeup that was perfectly usable because I might need it throughout the year because I wasn't allowed to buy very many products. There were certain rules I'd set for myself during my no-buy. The basis of it was that I could only replace a product when I'd completely run out of products of that type. So if I'd used all the different foundations I had, I would then be able to open a new one, and that would be my one foundation that I could use, and that was basically the rule, which meant I pretty much didn't have to buy makeup all year. I broke my own rule, I think, one time. Let me double check. I'm going to talk to the drawer. So as far as I can tell, I did break the rule once, and I bought myself a new concealer from Glossier, and this slipped into my basket when I was doing a skincare order, and it just happened. That was the only rule break I think I had in terms of makeup, so we didn't do bad for a whole year. So this was the only makeup I bought all year, and the aim was to get through all of my makeup products, or as many as possible, so I didn't waste any, even though some of them, you know, were old, they were not the nicest, but that was my game plan, to use up all my makeup, or as much as I could, so I didn't have to buy any more, and see what's left. However, I am surprised, as a person that wears makeup every single day. I do very basic makeup for work, so that is pretty much foundation, concealer, powder, brows and lipstick. That's all I do for work. And then when I'm filming, I do things like highlight, blusher, a brighter lip, I suppose, mascara, and that's that. So I'm pretty much putting on makeup 5 days a week for work, plus at the weekend for filming, and I did not get through a lot of stuff. So I got through, in terms of skincare, 2 things of moisturiser, and I now have 1 on the go, so I suppose that would be 3. But you've got to bear in mind that every single one of these products, the first one at least, was started prior to this journey, prior to this year. So I was finishing off what I'd started, then I had another one, and now I'm on a 3rd. So moisturiser, yes, I can kind of see why I get through this. And same with these exfoliating solutions, same situation. I'm on a 3rd one now, so I had 1 to finish off, then I've used another one, and then I've got onto a 3rd one now. Foundation, I was really surprised because I managed to get through this one, which I mentioned in a actual doing my makeup video where I used all of my old products to still do my makeup. I finished this one, so that one's all good and done, but I am still only partially through both of these. This one only has a tiny bit left. This one, because of the colour of it, with it being so dark, and now it's winter, I'm just not reaching for this at all. So there is still part of both of those left, and the tiniest bit of my Glossier one left, which I'm kind of a little bit gutted about. I've been using this too much. I wanted this to last beyond these because I want to buy a new one of this to keep wearing this. This is what I wear for work. It's more like a tinted moisturiser than a foundation. But now I'm just going to be left with these at the end, which is kind of annoying because this is my favourite. So I've still got a little bit of that left, and I've still got 2 tiny samples from Givenchy. These were a free gift I got when I bought their perfume last summer. Not the summer just gone, the one before, and I've not used those either. So in terms of foundation, I have still got a bit to get through, and so I've not had to buy foundation all year, and I'm still working through some of those. In terms of concealer, I had all three of these on the go. So this was the Tarte Tape Shape, which I mainly used for under my eyes, and then I had two shades of Collection Lasting Perfection. These were all on the go at the same time and all featured in my makeup video. They have finally all been used up. I'm not getting any more out of these, so that's a good thing. They're all gone. I then mentioned in one of my makeup videos, I can't remember, that I had another one of these in stock and I was just keeping it down the side with all my makeup I'd already bought but hadn't opened and wasn't going to open until I needed it. So I then opened this one, and this has been on the go ever since for quite a few months. And then of course my sneaky extra purchase of concealer. So I have these two on the go, and that is it in terms of concealer. So one sneaky purchase, three completely used, and then another one on the go. And then powders, I have been very good. Not very good in the sense of how much I've used, in the sense that all of these were partially opened. How a single person has all of these partially open powders and doesn't get through them that's just bonkers, that's mad. So the first thing I did was I took these three, so this one, and this one. They all only had a tiny bit of product left in them around the edges, and someone suggested to me that I scrape it all out and instead of having it as pressed powder, use it as loose powder. So then I tipped them into this number 7 pot, so all of it went in there, and I was using a combination of these three plus a little bit of what was left in here as my loose powder, and that lasted for ages. This went on for months and months and months. So those are now all done, and that's those 4. I then just had 2 more that needed using up, which I used up. I'm a bit of a powder fiend, I really go for it. Then I had this one, which is the Glossier Wowder. This kept going for ages and ages as well, and I finally got through it. I absolutely love this product, but the inside of it drives me mad. It's got one of, well, it did have one of those sort of netting sort of spongy things, so like you press the powder brush into it. It was so hard to get any product. I sat and I cut it out. I don't know if you can see that. I literally snipped it out because it was driving me so mad. And I would buy this again for the powder. I cannot be doing with this thing. It was driving me mad. It was so difficult to get powder, and I'm the sort of person that needs quite a bit of coverage. So in terms of when I get round to buying my next powder, I'm really on the fence about whether to go ahead with this or to try something else. And then the last one was a Too Faced one that I believe I treated myself to probably last summer and finally finished that. So those were my powders. I finished using them, and now I just have one powder left, which has been in there since before last December. Again, it was one of the ones I was keeping down the side in my stock of things I wasn't allowed to open until everything finished, and I only just opened this, I would say, maybe a week and a half ago. So this is my one powder. It's not the quality I like, it's just something that's doing the job, and as I say, when I'm done, I might buy the Glossier one again. I might try something else. So this is my one powder on the go at the moment. And that is pretty much the basic face stuff done, and that's when we really hit a problem, because other than that, I only got through one liquid lipstick to the point where I really couldn't get anything out anymore, and one setting spray all year. I don't understand this. I don't understand how a person that wears makeup every day barely got through it. Well, I suppose I do. It's because I wear different lipsticks, so every single one is barely getting any use. I should really focus it onto just one product until I've used it up and then keep going, because my supply of lipsticks is still ridiculous. So yeah, that's the situation. So still loads of lipsticks, barely touched. I mean, the lipstick I use the most is this one. This was released by Sophia Nygaard and the Colourpop collection, and this is almost, but I've still got so many. My eyeshadow palettes, there's barely a dent in them, and I've still got highlights, bronzers, blushes, mascaras, brow products, other like setting sprays, lip balms. There's just so much. So I think what is going to happen is there is going to have to be a makeup declutter video. I feel like I've served my time now. I've done it for a year. I've stuck to it. Well, with the exception of one concealer, I've stuck to it and I've really tried to use up products. But if there are products in here that I've just not used all year, for example, a bluey green liquid lipstick, I think we can accept that I'm not going to use it. And there are products in the lips, in the brows and lashes and all of that department that I just genuinely haven't used all year. And I think if that's the case, I should be allowed to let them go. I've served my time. I've tried it, I've done a year, and I think now I should be allowed to say, right, if it's not going to get used, we can declutter it. And that's really because I want that minimal collection. This is very overwhelming, and I've decluttered every other aspect of my life and not considered it to be wasteful, you know, with clothes, selling and donating them, feeling like that's going on to another home. I think the problem with makeup is you're just gonna chuck it away. It's all been opened and used at least once, meaning I wouldn't feel comfortable handing this on to anyone else, so it is just going to get thrown away, and that's very wasteful. And I think in my head I was thinking, you know, it's a product that's gonna get used up eventually, so keep it until you use it up. But I think I've got to draw the line somewhere. I think I'm ready to really declutter and minimize my makeup now and just have a small collection of things that I'm actually going to use. I mean, end goal really is to not need anywhere to keep my makeup. If I can have it all in a small makeup bag, maybe get to the point where I don't even have a place specifically to do my makeup. I mean, is this really necessary? I've got a room here, granted it's a very small room and couldn't really be used for a lot, but I've got a room here where I store my clothes, my makeup, my hair stuff. That, to me, it doesn't scream good use of a room anymore. I feel like I could have this space for something else. So I think we'll say it, coming at you soon, probably in the new year, will be a video decluttering my makeup. It is time to sort this out. It is time to whittle it down to the products that I actually use. I'm just waving around a liquid lipstick right now. Yeah, I think we've reached this point, but I think all of that aside, I tell you what, I'm all over the shop today. All of that aside, I think the biggest thing I've taken from this is how little makeup I've actually got through in a year, and in the past how much I'd bought thinking I needed it, and it's just not the case. And I would be really interested if next year could be the year of I have my set products and I just use those, and then to see how many I get through when I'm not trying to use up, you know, 5 different foundations. If I only have the one, then how many do I get through? I think that would be a much more interesting thing to consider. But to be honest, until then, I think some of these products I'm going to hold on to, like, I'll keep this one. I'll keep this until I finish using it. But maybe this darker one is one that I can let go of because it is still practically full. I've used it a few times sort of underneath and then put a lighter one over the top, you know. So I think some of the rules will still apply going into next year. I think there'll be some products that I think, yeah, I'll hold on to that until I've used it up and not move on to a new one till then. But I think in other cases, there's got to be a lot of this to go. So I think game plan moving forward, declutter the makeup, use up the things that I am still using but might not necessarily be my favourites, and then find my one product of each type. That was meant to be something that happened this year. I was meant to use up everything and discover my one. That was supposed to be my treat during my no buy, because I wasn't allowed to buy loads of makeup excessively and unnecessarily. I was supposed to be able to, when I've used up those products, go out and find the thing that I loved, that worked for me, and have that be my one product. But I've just not been able to do that because I didn't get through enough makeup. I cannot believe that after a year, those lipsticks, that just looks the same. It does look the same. It's the same, less one. Like, this is mad. So, in the new year, we'll have a video, we'll declutter the makeup, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, even by then, a few more of these, like, leftover bits will get used up. But I think that is the next thing moving forward. All right, let's try and bring a sense of normality and calm back to the video. So, all in all, In a way, it's good that loads of products didn't get used up and that it isn't an excessive amount of sort of plastic packaging and things going in the trash, because that in itself isn't good. I think I can say, you know, I've given it a good go and the new year is time to try something else. I've done this for a year. I'm happy that I took the time to get through a product. I can say hand on heart that I didn't actually throw away anything. I didn't throw away a product that was still partially used. Even if it's been looking at me and it's horrible, it's still in there. It'll just be a case of it didn't get used. So I'm ready for a fresh start in the new year, and I think I'll leave this one here. Thank you so much for watching this very bizarre and all over the place update on where we are with my makeup, and I will see you in the new year for another makeup themed video where we get our declutter game on and sort this out. I will still be uploading my videos on Sunday, as I said, just to make sure I get all the content in that I want to by the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you next time. Take care, bye!